Okay, so I have shared before that I upload my Canva slides into Nearpod to use them for interactive lessons in Outschool. And so I'm going to show you quickly how I do that. So here I have my presentation I created as a presentation, and I've got all of my slides finished. And I've prepared some of these slides in such a way that I know that they will work well with the different um, draw it tools that Nearpod has to offer. And so on these slides, the kids will actually be able to draw whatever it is or type whatever it is that I would like them to into the blanks. But I've got all of this ready. I need to make sure that's correct because you can't edit the text once it's in Nearpod. You can only edit it from Canva. So you can still change slides, but it takes a little bit longer. So what I do now is I go ahead and download, and I download these as a PDF. I can go ahead and download all pages because the version of Nearpod that I have has the storage for me to be able to do so. Before I had the paid version, I did have to download them as a couple of PDFs at a time, but I am able to upload several PDFs, so 11 will be a good number for this. So once I have downloaded, let's hide this real quick. I wait for it to pop up in the bottom of my screen. You see it here down in the bottom left. And I'm actually just going to drag this here in a minute into my Nearpod so that way I can create my presentation. So here I am on my Nearpod dashboard. I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to create a lesson. And then I'm just going to take that PDF that I just saved from Canva, and I'm going to drag it. Now I want to drag these, or I want to save these as individual slides, because if I don't, then it's just going to be a link where the kids click on it and they can see all your slides. You don't want a PDF viewer, you want individual slides. And then you give it a minute to load. And then here in a second, you will see all of the beautiful slides that you made in Canva, each as an individual piece in your Nearpod presentation. So at this point, if you don't want to add anything interactive, then you'd be good to go as soon as it loads. However, I really enjoy converting slides to draw it, which I will show you how easy that is as soon as this loads up. And then I also like to put activities in between my slides so that the students can stay engaged and they have ways to practice while we're in the middle of the lesson. So for example, slide 5 would be a draw it slide. And so I can hit convert to draw it. It asks me if I want to keep a copy of the original slide. I always hit yes, just in case I want to keep it to draw on afterwards. So I might move it after the draw it slide so I can explain things and show the kids while I notate after they've done the work. But the draw it slide gives each one of them, show you a preview, gives each one of them this slide where they are able to insert text. They can draw with like a pen, whatever they need to do. And then I can also give them instructions for what I want them to do. So use inequality symbols, and then whatever the directions are. I can add a timer if I want to. So if I only want to give my kids a certain amount of time, this can be really beneficial, especially in online classes because you only have a certain amount of time, but it also could discourage kids. So sometimes I don't put that timer on, especially if I'm dealing with kids that are a little bit younger. So aside from Draw It, there's many other activities that you can add to your slides. And so if you go here to add content and activities, this is my favorite part. There's so many different things that you can include. And I'm not going to go through all of them today, but Nearpod does have some resources that you can use as part of your membership if you have one. And there's also some free resources as well. And the activities are the part that brings in the engagement piece. So Time to Climb is basically quiz questions. And what happens with the quiz questions is you create them, as many as you'd like to. And then the students get to create like a little character really fast. And then the character climbs up the mountain. And so the faster they answer the questions and the more correct answers, the faster they climb up the mountain. And whoever gets there first wins. It's kind of like Kahoot or Blicket, the same idea. And then the other one that I'm really excited about right now that's new is the drag and drop. So I'm thinking that that's going to be really interesting for me over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be using that to create some of my lessons. I like the matching pairs because in create like a not really a memory game, but a game where they have the cards that go together and they have to figure out which ones go together. I did it with equivalent fractions for a lesson a couple weeks ago, and it really worked well, and I liked it. They also have a collaborate board, which the kids can all collaborate on together with you. So instead of them having their own individual draw it, they can write on it together. They have polls, and then memory test is one that's actually like a memory game. So you can add pictures and then have them flip over the pictures and try to remember where those cards were. That one's not super academic, especially for the older kids, but sometimes I'll put it at the beginning. I know a lot of teachers will do that to give the kids an activity while the other kids are getting logged into Nearpod. So I love Nearpod for my interactive math classes. And so far, I haven't found anything that I love more other than Jamboard, which I prefer for one-on-one classes. I do see myself using it for collaborative classes, probably with my actual full curriculum classes, because I have those kids day after day, week after week. And so they'll understand how to use it collaboratively. But for my one-time classes, I really prefer Nearpod. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Hopefully this video helped you. And I look forward to seeing your awesome Nearpod lessons in the future.